Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Rita. This is my channel 10 Red Lipsticks, and today we're going to talk about my top 3 makeup items in every category. So I've seen loads of people do this video over the years, months, whatever, and recently, a few months ago, I saw Andrea Matiliano's video, which was really great. I love Andrea, I think she's great, and she's a fellow oily skin girl, so some key important information for me in her reviews. And I just saw Mandy Leah's video the other day, which I think is a couple of weeks old or a month old at this stage, but still, I was thinking this would be a fun video to do, and the approach I'm going to take is not taking it too seriously. I'm not picking my favorites of all time. I'm picking my top 3 right now in every category. As I'm sure you can tell, it is nighttime. I'm using my ring light, so you know, we're doing our best. I've got a few candles, I've got a few things, trying to keep it not too dark in the background, but it's feeling very dark. So we'll see how it goes. It is what it is with the lighting, but hopefully you'll be able to, see things pretty clearly with the ring light. So, equally with not picking my top 3 too seriously, and it's pretty much focused on my current favorites, my current top items, and the mood that I'm in at the moment. Ask me in a week and it'll be different. I'm also not taking which categories I'm doing too seriously. So for example, I'm not a huge primer person. I'm not going to do primer. I'm not a big setting spray person. I'm not going to do setting spray. And I think 2 categories I've combined. Oh, and a few categories I've combined to make it work and make sense for me, because I figured just picking the 3 mascaras that I currently have open wasn't that interesting, because it's 100% pass rate in that class. So let's get into it. I think we should start with something exciting and go straight into eyeshadow. So I've divided eyeshadow into 3 categories: individually potted eyeshadows, magnetic single eyeshadows, and eyeshadow palettes. So for the individually potted, hold that thought, just dropped one. So I've got the Lime Crime Lid Light in Lotus. I really love this colour. I keep the cover on because I got it smashed because I got it in TK Maxx, but I smushed it back together and it works just fine. Look at that. It's this bronzy pink that is just so shiny and beautiful, and I love the packaging. I love purple, it's my favorite color, and you've got a little mirror that is actually functional. It's the whole circumference of the lid. I really love it. So we'll swatch that over here. Maybe I'll turn down the light a bit. So there we've got Lotus from Lime Crime. Absolutely beautiful. Probably my top of all time, but at this time as well, is the Essence Melted Chrome in Zinc About You. As a cool tone girl, this, I mean, oh, look at it. Look at it. And I love the creamy texture. Please bring these back, Essence. They're so good. They're so good. Look at that. Just taupey, there's something a little purpley about it, high shine, cool tone, absolutely gorgeous, always a top favorite. And then this one is very much a favorite of the moment. This is the Catrice Space Glam Chrome Eyeshadow in 010 Moonlight Glow. I've got this in my deck of panning, so I think I'm trying to use it 8 times. I should watch back for my original whenever I rolled it into the project to ensure I have the correct usage goal on that. But so I've been using it a few times. I wore it in maybe in my deck of panning update video and got some compliments on it, and that green reflect on it, it's just so beautiful. So yeah, those are my current top 3 potted eyeshadows, and I just love them. They're so nice, so easy breezy. But really special, really add something special, and I do enjoy individually potted eyeshadows. I prefer magnetic singles because they're just so user friendly in terms of how you want to store them. If you want to make your own palette or whatever, you can. But if you want to individually pot them, you can get packaging to do that as well. So I prefer magnetic singles, but I love an individually potted single as well. And I think it's great to have a few that you can mix and match, you know, alongside your palettes, etc. So for magnetic singles, I've got them in this Z palette here. So the first one is a bit boring because I don't know the shade name, because this was in the Sydney Grace 54 pan bundle, where it's mostly shades from palettes, so they don't label their shades that are inside of palettes, from discontinued palettes, so I don't have the shade name. Now you can't fully tell, maybe you can kind of tell with the turn the light down a bit more with the pan, but this is like a white kind of shimmer, but it has the tiniest pink to it, so it's like a rose white, and I really like it. I have it on my inner corner today, and it was just, the mood I'm in now is very heavily influenced by the fact that I'm in the middle of a run of night shifts, so I'm exhausted. So simple, pretty, going to work for me makeup is just what's occurring to me as the best makeup right now. So I just remembered, oh yeah, that eyeshadow was lovely, and I did compare it to Millennium from Nabla, which I've now buried back in a magnetic palette, which is another light shade with a pink twist, but Millennium is more like a duochrome, and it's gorgeous, but it is, you know, it is a bit more intense, and I'm just more in the mood for simple right now. So continuing in that vein, also from Sydney Grace, but I do know the name of this one, we've got Troops. So this is one of their kind of most well-known shades, and it is just such a stunningly beautiful cool tone. So here we've got this gorgeous taupe. Just, if you like cool tones, it's one to check out, and it's interesting, you know, it could be compared to Think About You. Bit smoother, I'd say, though Think About You is very smooth. Think About You has a bit more glittery, whereas Troops is very smooth. Absolutely stunning. I just love, 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 love it. So finally then, and I couldn't help myself, even though I'm in a simple mood this week, in going for something more glittery, and we've got Robin from Glaminatrix. This is from Glimmering Creatures Volume 2, I believe, and it is just so gorgeous. So it's this light pink and high shimmer, but also lots of sparkle, so you can see in there it's got the individual sparkle pieces that Troops doesn't have, and you've got some of that with Lotus and with Think About You, I'd say. It's not fully coming, it's coming up a bit with Lotus, but it's much more intense with Robin and all of the Glimmering Creatures. To be honest, like, I could have closed my eyes and picked out 3 of the Glimmering Creatures, because I've got the whole of Volume 1 and I've got this one from Volume 2. I am so tempted to order Volumes 3 and 4, and 4 is not Glimmering Creatures anymore, it's Glimmering something else. But you know, Makeup Low Buy, etc. So those are my top 3 magnetic singles of the moment, and yeah, just beautiful kind of elevated neutrals is the vibe, and that will continue to be the vibe for the eyeshadow palettes. So first up, the palette that I am wearing on my eyes today, I wonder if any of you can guess, it is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba. So I just fell in love with this. I bought it in Prague in February. We were there for my birthday, and I think it was on my birthday or very close to my birthday I actually bought this, and I was intending to buy the Starlet, Mini Starlet, and I knew I was going to love that, and I really had been interested in this from the minute it launched, but it only has one shimmer, and I'm such a shimmer person, so I wasn't certain. I knew these rosy tones were very interesting to me, but I wasn't certain if a palette with just one shimmer was going to be a favorite of mine, and it is just stunning. This shimmer is everything, you know. I've got it on the lid there. You can see it's this kind of rosy, kind of taupey, very elegant neutral that is light enough to really brighten, but not just a champagne, you know. It's a rosy, you know, a shade or two deeper than a champagne, and just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'd say on deeper skin than mine, this as a highlighter would probably be stunning. Like, you know, it'd be pretty intense, but it's just so gorgeous. I absolutely love it. That's not to say that the mattes don't stand up for themselves. They really do. I love them. And in particular, you've got this cream to powder. Have you more cream to powders than that? No. So this is a cream to powder, and then the rest are creamy mattes. I've got this one, and this one on today. I don't have the deepest, and I have the shimmer, obviously. I don't have the deepest one on today, and like with my light skin, it's very easy to build depth. I don't need to use all the shades. So I'm going to wash my hands and I'll be back in a second. So continuing with the simple mood that I'm in at the moment, we have the Viseart Petit Four in Lila. Oh, perfection, absolute perfection. Obviously, if you need deeper shades to build more structure and more depth into your eye looks, this won't be a complete palette for you, but for me, this is perfection. And I actually hate with mini palettes like this when one of the shades is, for me, kind of wasted on a very deep shade, because it's just not something, like for an everyday look, if I were to add black or a very deep brown, it looks very dramatic on my very pale skin and my kind of small eyes. It kind of closes off my eyes. I'll just swatch the two shimmers for you, and this will be the end of the swatching portion of the eyeshadows because the next palette is a bit bigger. So this lighter shimmer, it's like the shimmer in the Mini Biba, where it's light enough to, you know, really brighten and, you know, highlight and open up my eyes on the lid. And then the deeper shimmer isn't too deep, but it does add a bit of dimension. And then these mattes, Viseart mattes are the business. So we've got a more pinky one and a more grey one. They look very similar and a bit washed out in this. So you can see the pink one clearly, and you can't really see the grey one that clearly, but that's because I swatched it with my pinky finger. So see if I can build that up a bit. Only a little. Yeah, they are light. That's my preference. I am so interested in the Isolde and Hesperides quads that look like they would complement this quad very well, but low buy. So these two were the first two that came to my mind as just instant yes. The mood I'm in right now, I want simple looks that are going to be beautiful every time. This is what occurred to me. So like soft warm tones that are very rosy, which work for my undertones, and proper cool tones. And then I was kind of thinking, I'm not sure for the third palette. And I was thinking the Beauty Bay Neutral 42. I was thinking my Bobbi Brown quad of my sparkly toppers. I was kind of thinking about a few different things. And then I realized actually another neutrals but elevated, really gorgeous, and then something that's a bit special, because, you know, these are gorgeous and they are special, but they're very everyday and, you know, appropriate for all occasions. What about something a bit more, with a bit more pizzazz? And I thought it was a great opportunity to talk about the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural, because they are bringing this palette back. Now, the reason that they discontinued this palette wasn't because they didn't want to keep it. It is because some of the ingredients weren't available to them. So I'm not sure if so those ingredients have become available again. I know obviously supply chains were just decimated with the pandemic. So it could be that things have recovered in wherever they were sourcing materials and they were able to get their hands on the same source materials, or it could be that the new palette will be reformulated. Either way, if you have ever wanted this, I would use this opportunity to get it whenever they do launch it, because this palette is really special. If you love neutrals, but you like a bit of colour from time to time, you like to play around with subtle colours that are appropriate for every day, this is the colour story for you. This formula is stunning. I know I was kind of getting down on it with my what is that project called? Not Pan in Every Palette, No Pan Left Behind project, because I brought this to Prague with me, and then I was very relieved when I bought this that I had a palette that was just easy breezy and I could use without thinking about it, because the thing about this very special shimmer formula is that there is fallout. So I'll just swatch Nearly Natural and Naked Eye because they look like they have the most fallout right now, and they are getting a bit drier because this palette is years old at this stage. But like, they're very sparkly, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, you do have a bit of fallout. Now, if you want a few shimmers like this, I would go to Glaminatrix and get whatever your favorite colors are in the Glimmering Creatures singles, because they're comparable for the sparkle and shine. But obviously this will be available as a palette. You'll generally have to buy the whole palette. Now, sometimes they'll do some of their palettes shades as singles, which is excellent, and you know, a key reason to love indie brands that they do this kind of thing. So either way, I think Glaminatrix shimmers, and their mattes are great too, but their shimmers are really special and gorgeous, and if you're looking for something sparkly, they've got you covered. But this palette is perfection in terms of it brings all of those things together. So long as you're prepared to deal with some fallout, it really is such a special palette. And this is magnetic. So this original one, they were 26mm pans, so I can swap them out with my singles. I think now they're doing like 22mm pans or 22.5 or something, which is more similar to like the Colourpop size pans. So that's just something to look into if you are, whenever they re-release this palette, if you're interested in it. And I know they have their new Barely Basic palette, which looks amazing, and I really want it, but low buy. So that is my top 3 in my 3 categories for eyeshadow. So let's move on. Let's go for base products next. So my top 3 foundation type products, I'm not doing like BB creams and foundations and skin tints and all that. I'm just base products like that. My number 1 would be the Catrice All Matte Shine Control Makeup in 010N Natural Light Beige. They're freaking discontinuing this, so this is what I have on my face today. I absolutely love this. I am so pleased that I have a bit left, because I was definitely going to repurchase this as soon as I ran out, but they have discontinued it, it seems. So I am very interested in trying their new foundation, but in store they don't have the whole shade range, and I've looked online and I can't really see anywhere online that ships to Ireland that has the full shade range. Maybe Cosmetic for Less just got some of the shades before they got the full range, I don't know. So I will look into that in the future. But yeah, a moment of silence for the Catrice All Matte Shine Control, or I think it was called All Matte Plus before that. It's been good. I love you. I'll miss you. It is the formula, but it's also the shade, and that shade isn't necessarily perfect. I think it works very well, but it has like a more grey undertone, which is what I need. So formula wise, the Sephora Best Skin Ever would be my best replacement. This shade is slightly different. This is 04N, but this is much more expensive than the Catrice, so I'm just honorable mention for this. It's not one of my top 3, but if you, like me, are mourning the loss of this, then maybe have a look at the Sephora Best Skin Ever. Next up, perfection, the Missha BB Cream Perfect Cover BB Cream SPF 42, blah, blah, blah. My shade is 13, which is very, very light. Again, this has the grey undertone. And even though I have oily skin, this formula works really well. It wears away gracefully, whereas some other skin tints and BB creams and stuff kind of wear away. They just like melt off in patches and look ridiculous. This A lasts much better than other BB creams, and B, as it is wearing away, it's a graceful fading as opposed to just like stark splotches of bare skin and full coverage side by side. So yeah, this is amazing. I've gone through several tubes of this. This is a mini. I also love that they come in a mini. Yeah, it's amazing, and the SPF is great. And back up to your main SPF, which as a pale person who can get burnt easily, I really appreciate. Next up, the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. This is a lovely formula. Again, you would think maybe it wouldn't work for me with my oily skin, but it actually does work really well. And my shade Fair 03C works really well for me. So yeah, big fan of this, and this would pull me back to ordering from Colourpop again, though, because it's very expensive to get them sent to Europe, and this isn't, you know, I prefer the other two, but this is a great foundation, and if a limited edition Colourpop collection that I loved got released and I was out of this, I would definitely be thinking, okay, I'm gonna get something from that collection that I want, and I'm gonna reorder this guy because it is a great foundation. And I think if you have oily skin, I think this would work for people with dry skin as well, maybe not in like the barren winter or whatever, but it's a lovely formula. And if you have oily skin but you don't want a super matte look, this is a great formula because it's just a bit more robust than some other hydrating, and like it's like a kind of a satin finish. It's not like a shiny like mica in it, glitter in it kind of a finish, which some hydrating things, they actually mean like shimmer, and I'm not about that at all. So next up for under eye and concealing, today I am wearing the PS Perfect Cover concealer stick in probably in Fair or in Porcelain. So this is just a little stick. It's a bit yellow, but it's a lovely formula. I found out about this from Robert Welsh. I have it on today. It's not like total full coverage on my dark circles, because I kind of need to color correct and then conceal to have a hope of fully 100% covering them, but it works really, really well, and it's a lovely formula. With my skin being so oily, having something like this that doesn't just all evacuate into my creases immediately is very helpful. Next up, this is not a concealer, it's actually a color corrector or under eye brightener. This is from Catrice. This is their Instant Awake, and it is in 010 Light Rose. I absolutely freaking love this. Apparently it's a good dupe for the Becca or whatever. I never tried that, so I don't know. But yeah, I absolutely love this. And this is my new like no makeup of if I just want to look a bit more human but I don't want to put makeup on, I'll put some of this under my eyes, I'll put something in my brows and brown mascara on just the outer corners of my lashes, and then like a very light amount of brown mascara, and then it just, I look much more like awake and everything, as it says under eye brightener Instant Awake. So yeah, this is absolutely excellent. Please don't discontinue this, Catrice, please. And then finally, this is the Catrice True Skin high coverage concealer, hyaluronic acid, waterproof, blah blah blah. I think they're discontinuing this. I can't really find them in Ireland. I'm not sure about other countries. I don't have the best shade of this. I have 005 Warm Macadamia, so it is too warm for me, but for color correcting it works really well, and I really like the formula, and I would like to get a better shade for me, but they seem to be discontinuing it, so I don't know. They're out to get me, you know? Okay, so my first combined category is lashes and brows, because I just thought it'd be boring to talk about just the 3 lash products I have open, and I thought that'd be boring. So first up, and the absolute winner, is this Catrice Lashes to Kill No Panda Eyes Mascara 24-hour smudge proof in black. I don't know if it has more information. This I opened because I needed a waterproof mascara over the summer, because I just was having a lot of problems with smudging, and it has been a godsend over the summer. So obviously it's been open now for several months, but I'm going to keep it on the go for a while, because for those really long days, or it's raining, or I know I'm going to be sweating or whatever, having a reliable waterproof mascara is just obviously so useful and helpful. And I really like this, gives decent length and volume, which I'd say length is probably the number one thing I'm looking for, and then volume is pretty good too. It's the natural hair bristle brush there, or I don't know if they're natural, but you know what I mean, that shape. Really liking that. Then the mascara I'm wearing today, because I don't want to wear waterproof mascara all the time, I want this makeup to be easy to remove, because I'm going to a night shift after this, and then I'm going to be removing my makeup probably like in the car on the way home. And I want it to be really easy to take off. So this is from Zoeva. I don't think they make this anymore. This is the Infinite Potential Mascara Full Volume. It is a mini, and my husband got it for me in TK Maxx for Christmas. So it's that, like, I guess, is that the Better Than Sex shape? Again, the natural hair. I'm wearing it today. Nothing too intense with it today, but it is a lovely bit of volume, bit of length, bit of definition. Really like the shape and feel, like the vibes of the lashes with it. Really like it. I am liking my brown mascara that I have open at the moment, which is also from Catrice, but it's not my top favorite ever. My top favorite brown mascara ever is the Their Real Lash Primer from Benefit, but that is obviously very expensive, so I do not have that at the moment. One day I will repurchase that. And then one brow product, and this is the Huda Beauty Bomb Brows Full and Fluffy. So this is their tinted fiber brow gel. Forgetting my words here. I love this teeny tiny brush. It works so well. I've said this before, but I kind of thought this was dead, and then I realized, oh, there's so many fibers stuck in the wand. I'll kind of wipe off the wand and I'll see. And I've been getting loads more life out of it. I just did that again today, and I really like what it's done for my brows today. I know I'm not the best at brows. They're not my favorite. I hate doing them, actually. I really hate doing them. And I have very thin hair, very sparse hair on my brows. So it's something I find stressful. So something that makes it easy is so helpful. And this shade is a really great shade match for me. It is 4 Light Brown. So yeah, I got this in the €12 Tuesday sale. If they ever put it in again, I will buy a couple of them, because it is so good. And now I'm saying that, I'm like, is this even still in existence? Hopefully it is. The brow pencil in the same shade was also great, and it was one of those like very thin ones. I really liked that. But it's not too good at the moment. Next, I feel like I should go back to complexion, because I forgot to do powder. So my top 3 powders. First, I'm cheating. This is the Essence Skin Love and Sensitive mineral powder, blurring and mattifying, non-comedogenic, and aloe vera. Obviously this is empty. I intend to repurchase this, but I haven't yet, because I have so many other powders on the go. But I did just finish the very last bit of this, because it was in my deck of panning Franken loose powder that I made, and I was just thinking, yeah, I think part of why I'm liking this powder so much is that powder is in it, because that powder is amazing. I bought it because what is her name, somebody said that it was a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury powder that's very popular. Another one that I've been told is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury is this from number 7. As you can see, I have a huge pan in it. Airbrush Away translucent finishing powder. So mine is really old. They have reformulated this, so I can't attest to what the new one is like. But I really like the old one. And even though I have that big pan, it'll still probably take me a while to finish it. Partially because I've been using this a lot. So the lid says this is from Flower Beauty. It is not. It is in fact the e.l.f. Halo Glow finishing powder. And Ruth gave me this. The shade is Light Claire. Ruth Foley gave me this. We swapped a bunch of makeup we were decluttering, and she actually meant to give me the Flower Beauty, but she had put the lids, because they're the same size packaging, she'd put the lids on the wrong packages by accident. So I wouldn't even have necessarily picked to take the e.l.f. because I have oily skin, so I'm not really looking for glow with my powder. But this powder is so good. It is so nice. And for me, I kind of need to powder a lot. I didn't powder a lot today because it's not sunny, you know, I won't be doing that much at work. But when I do need to powder a lot, often it'll look heavy and powdery. This doesn't look like that because it is that glow formula. So yeah, e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, finishing powder, whatever it's called. It is lovely, and I'd say for all skin types, because I know people with dry skin seem to love it as well. So I just wouldn't be afraid of it if you have oily skin. I don't know if they do minis. I would love if they did do minis. I have made my own mini by putting it into my favourite Becca Hydra Mist mini setting powder packaging, because I love that packaging so much. So if they did minis, I would definitely go and buy one, because it is a lovely powder, and if you need to use powder, it's one that's worth looking into. So where will we go next? Will we go for lips next, and then we'll finish with cheeks? Excuse me. Okay. So I'm wearing a combo today. I've got a lip liner, a lipstick, and a lip balm on. So those are 3 of our categories, and then we've got a 4th category, which is lip gloss. So let's start with lip gloss. First off, these Kaleidos lip glosses, the packaging is cool. I think it could be more sturdy, but I think it is pretty cool. This shade is just stunning. This is Last Smoke, and then I've got another similar one to Last Smoke, and then I've got Skinny Dip as well. And the formula on these is gorgeous, and just having truly cool toned, impactful but not too much shades is such a godsend when I love cool tones. So that is my number 1, but all 3 shades that I have could be number 1. Like, they're stunning. I could just do the 3 shades I have of that for this category, but it will be more interesting than that. So I would recommend any of those Kaleidos lip glosses that you are interested in. I deliberately didn't buy the ones that have the pieces of glitter in them because I hate that feeling on my lips. So I have no idea what those feel like, but the ones without. Skinny Dip maybe has like the slightest bit, but they're like tiny, you can't feel them. But there are a couple, maybe Pink Marquess, and then the like black one that I think have like proper glitter in them. I think it could be other shades, I can't remember, but I deliberately didn't buy those shades and I bought the smooth shades, and I freaking love them. It's very small, so you only get 3.8 milliliters, so they're not the best value. Like, they're not too expensive, but it is a small quantity, so I would just bear that in mind. But formula wise, absolutely gorgeous, and like the packaging is cool. I don't think it's the best packaging in the world, but it is lovely and interesting. So yeah, another one which I know people complain about the amount that you get, the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. So you get 5.4 mils in those, and you only get 3.8 mils in the Kaleidos. So these really are small. So I think the main reason people complain that there isn't that much gloss in these is because the packaging is so freaking huge, which is really annoying. So this is the shade Stone, and these are just absolutely lovely. If you want colour on your lips, this is the gloss to go for. The smell is like a sweet bakery artificial smell. It is not anything like the horrible smell from the like liquid lipstick from that line, or from Maybelline. It is much nicer than that. So don't be afraid if you hate that smell, because I hate that smell, but I love the smell of the lip gloss. So also, it really is not that much lip gloss. Like, I have gone through a couple of those, so I don't think it's too much of a risk. If you don't like strong smells, this could be too strong for you, but also you might be fine with it. And like, it's drugstore products, it's not too expensive, and it's easy enough to finish these up. They're not too huge. So yeah, big fan. And I like the big doe foot on them, which is funny because I love the Kaleidos doe foot, and it is so different. It's like this little elegant guy next to this big boy. So next up, we've got the Essence Extreme Care in 03 Milky Cocoa. This shade is so weird. It's like concealer lips, very weird. But to lighten like the center of your lips, it can work quite well. This is the shape of the doe foot, and the feeling of this is lovely. This again has a kind of bakery smell. I'd say it's meant to be a kind of hot chocolate smell because it is Milky Cocoa is the shade name. Sorry, there's the swatch there. I don't know if I even showed that to you. So here it looks a bit more colourful. Actually on the lips, it kind of blends into your skin. So not necessarily my most wearable lip gloss, but I love the feel of it so much, and I use it in combination with other things or just like around the house. They only have 3 shades in that Extreme Care. They've also got the Extreme Shine lip glosses. The Extreme Care they might even be called lip balms. I'm not sure. The text is all worn away on the packaging, so you can barely see it. But yeah, it's a beautiful formula, and I just really enjoy the feel of it on my lips. Is its main reason for winning. So next up in lipsticks, so there are a few favorites that are all-time favorites that aren't going to be in here, and it's just because I'm in this more simple, I'm exhausted from night shifts mood. So first off, the one I have on my lips today as the main color is Teddy from Catrice, and this is from the Jenny César, I don't know, X Catrice collection, and it's this beautiful rosy brown that I really love. And obviously it is autumn, we are in the cozy season, this is the perfect time for this color. Next up, my wedding lipstick. This is American Woman from NARS in their Power Matte. I love this formula. I would love a few more shades in this formula. Absolutely love it. And again, another lovely warm tone, perfect for this time of year. And then the Maybelline Shine lipstick in 065 Spicy Mauve. So again, kind of like Lotus earlier. It's a pink, but it's got a bit of bronziness to it. And really good colour for this time of year. So those are just the 3 lipsticks that jumped out to me right now. But if I'm honest, I am mostly into lip balms right now. Just keeping it simple, keeping it easy. So to make some of those lip balms work, sometimes you kind of need a lip liner. Sorry, I'm just realizing things that shouldn't be in here. So the lip liner I am wearing today is e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner in... It's like on the lid. I think it's Truth or Bear. Yeah. So Ruth gave me this. It is lovely. I have it on today. I don't know how it's gotten so short. I have used it several times, but I wonder if I dropped it or like messed up when I was pairing it. then we've got this one from Elf Retro Paradise, which I realised does have some text on the lid. I just thought these didn't have names at all, but it just says Nude 01, so it's not that helpful. It is very similar, but a bit more kind of grey brown and less kind of pink warm brown than the other Elf one. And then from Zoeva Graphic Lips, we've got Earthbound, which is a cooler pink. Not necessarily, oh, that is coming up more colourful on camera than it is in person. In person, it's a bit more grey, a bit lighter than it's coming up, showing up on the camera. So yeah, lip liners in combination with lip balms if I want them to be more impactful. But let's talk about 3 of the lip balms. They're not all totally lip balms, but anyway. So first off, the Catrice Powerful 5 in, this is 030 Addicting, or Sweet Cherry. Addicting Cassis is definitely the one I wanted to pick, which is probably in my bag or something. But anywho. So this is a tinted lip balm, like quite tinted. So this, I like this shade a lot, but I love the Addicting Cassis, which is 040. They have discontinued these, which is devastating. But they say their new colourful whatever lip balm is meant to be really good. I'm going to wait to buy those until my low buy is over. But I'll probably get a few colours of those because I really, really love these. So if they are meant to replace these, then I want to try them. Next up, now you could probably put this in lip gloss as well, but the NYX Professional Makeup Fat Oil Slick Click Shiny Lip Balm. So they call it a balm. So I'm going to put it with lip balm in 05, link in my bio. And I have to click this up a lot because I'm running out of it. And these are impactful. They've got actual shade to them. I love the format, but they can kind of run around your face. But I absolutely love this. And the smell, yeah, it smells sweet and delicious. So yeah, I'm loving this. I got a red one as well, but this brown I prefer. It's probably a bit more impactful than that on your lips because you kind of load it up. These, I know people have been complaining that they run out quickly, but to me that's not the end of the world because I own too much makeup. So finally, so in addition to the lipstick and the lip liner that I have on today, I also have some Summer Fridays lip balm. So I've got iced coffee, vanilla, vanilla beige, and brown sugar, and I'm loving all of them. I will say, like, brown sugar is the deepest one. Even then, it basically has no color on the lips. So pick for the scent that you want. I don't know, I know I've seen that they have like a brighter red one, and they have ones with shimmer in. So beyond that, I'd say pick for the scent that you want, and you know, you can pair them with different lip liners and pull them whatever way you want. They don't have no color, but they have very little pigment, and it just doesn't do much. So I'll swatch a bit of brown sugar, and you will be able to see that there is pigment, but like, it's really not much. I would kind of have expected that that would be the level of pigment in this one, whereas it's in this one. So this is vanilla beige. So there we've got vanilla beige and brown sugar. And yeah, there's just not a lot of pigment to them, but the formula is lovely. The different scents are lovely. If you're sensitive to scent, you may hate these, but I got these in the 4-pack that they have for Christmas, which if you're in Europe, Space NK has them. So yeah, that was pretty exciting to be able to try 4 different ones. I would say, having now tried them, you don't necessarily need 4 different ones because the colors aren't that impactful, but I've been loving playing with them, and they are really good lip balms. They work really well. They do have the tiniest hint of color, but it's not going to make a huge difference. So moving on, I forgot a section of eyes, so I'll do that now, and then we will go on to cheeks, which will be exciting. So Eyeliners. I wouldn't normally have eyeliners to talk about, but I happen to have 3 new eyeliners that are just, I'm loving. So one of them I have on my lower lash line today, and that is the Essence Meta Glow Eye Pencil, Duochrome Eye Pencil in a shade. It's just impossible to read any of this stuff. Oh, excuse me. So the one I have on today is 01 Chromatic Love. I will swatch that. You can see it on my lower lash line, but I will swatch it as well. 02 Chromefinity. Oh god. And 03 Galactic Chrome. So Ruth decluttered these to me as well, and I've been just absolutely loving putting them on my lower lash line, lower waterline area as just like a little hint of colour, like with a neutral look like this. So this is the one I have on today, and then if it's more cool tone look, this works well, and then a green look, this works well. So yeah, really loving these. So there's 01, 02 and 03, and yeah, absolutely loving them. And I think it just adds something special and, you know, a little hint of colour when I don't want to wear too much colour. So it's it's there for the people who are looking close, you know. So cheeks, this is exciting now. This is where I got like eyeliners. That was, I own a couple more eyeliners than that, but like there was no competition. It was those 3. That was it. If I didn't own those 3, I wouldn't have mentioned any of my eyeliners because they're not special to me. But those 3 made it. Cheeks, yeah, we had some hot competition for cheeks. Now, the only thing I did combine is cream products, because cream products are not my be all and end all. So I've picked one from each category to be my top 3 cream products. So we've got a highlighter, a blush and a bronzer. So starting with the bronzer, I am wearing this today, though I also topped it with a powder bronzer. This again, Ruth Foley gave to me, is the PS Pro Cream Bronze Buildable Coverage Light to Medium. This is so good. So good. It is so blendable, and the shade is pretty good for me. Like excellent for me actually. And I've been really enjoying blending it out with my sponge that I used for my foundation. So that kind of helps it to get more, to blend really well with my foundation. So you can see there, like it doesn't, some people might say, well, that disappears into nothing. But to me, that's just like this subtle bronzy thing that I want. I do not want like harsh deep lines because it's just so not native to my face and my undertones to have that. So something really subtle is most of what I need with a bronzer. So yeah, shocked at how much I love this. I've always wanted the Charlotte Tilbury one because people say that it is, you know, it really is very subtle, very easy to blend, etc. And this has been everything I hoped that the Charlotte Tilbury one would be. Now, I've never tried the Charlotte Tilbury one. Maybe it's better, but this is amazing. And if they have these when I finish this, if I ever finish this, or if I think it's too gross and I have to get rid of it. But it's not impossible that I could finish this because you do use quite a bit, like, because it is very subtle. So yeah, obviously Primark, Pennies, they don't necessarily keep products forever. But if this is still around when I've finished this one, I would go out and buy this again. It is or like for the first time for me because Ruth gave this to me, but it is gorgeous. I really love it. Another one Ruth gave me, this is the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluid Glow Booster in a shade, which is impossible to know. This is ridiculous. It's definitely like one of the lighter shades, but they have a wide shade range of these. Again, not available in every store, but if you order online. So yeah, I've actually been really loving this, and it just has shocked me. And the biggest shock is I've loved it not only as a liquid highlighter, which I would have thought like, oh yeah, maybe I'd like that, but it would probably be a bit silly to buy such a large container of something. Like, look at that. It's just subtle, really like ethereal, really nice. But I've also been adding it to foundation, which I did today, which is just so weird for me, because I am usually going for more matte looks to combat the oily skin, but this has just been a way to add a bit of glow without kind of destabilizing my base and, you know, putting it in, so like dewy foundations or whatever, no, enemy, it's going to break apart, that's not going to last. But this is like a shimmer. So, and then being able to really customize exactly what I'm looking for. So putting this kind of in large streaks on certain parts of my face and then blending it in with my foundation as I blend in my foundation means that I'm kind of highlighting like large sections that I want to, and adding a little bit of this to my overall foundation without my whole foundation being this oily, streaky mess. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that. And then for a cream blush, this is the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in Brut Flute. I absolutely love this. If you want that winey kind of red, ruddy cheek, this stuff is just gold. And like, it looks intense there, but when you blend it in, you can make it look like that winter girl in from the cold, and it's very shiny as well. It is so beautiful, and that is a product that sometimes if I post pictures of me wearing it or whatever, people are like, what is that? I need that. So I really, really like it. And I think it works well with my complexion as well. And if you have oily skin, but you want to try cream products and you're worried what will work and what won't, the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek products are excellent. They work really, you can apply them over powder. That's a big problem for me with cream products, is I powder my face and then I'm like, oh sugar, I meant to use some creams. I've forgotten and now it's too late. Well, it's not too late with the Super Shock thing because they're a cream powder hybrid kind of formula. So yeah, they're excellent. Okay, now onto the real deal, which is the powder products. So let's start with highlighter. So I have that cream highlighter on today, but I also have a powder highlighter. So this is very much a favorite of the moment, a top for right now. This is the Essence Make Me Glow Baked Highlighter in 10 It's Glow Time. So I think basically the Pure Nude highlighter in the US is this in Europe, and Ruth gave me this as well, and it is just subtle and beautiful, but it is a proper highlighter. I love a baked formula. I think the most blurring, flattering formula that you can get. And yeah, I've been really, really loving it. And yeah, I think, you know, I put a good bit on today, but I think it's still not too much, which for an oily skin gal who's going to get more shiny as the day goes on, that's what I want, is something that's not too much but still feels special and beautiful. Oh, speaking of, I have one that I didn't put up here. So that's more of a warm tone option. And then for cool tone days, I've got my Catrice More Than Glow highlighter in 020 Supreme Rose Beam. I have most of the beautiful imprint has worn away now of the lovely flowers like this. This is incredible. It's very comparable to the Becca highlighters, but even more, like, more smooth than that. It is just so gorgeous. Sorry, I'm looking for the other highlighter that has gone missing. Where is it? Sorry, it had rolled away at my feet. So this is the Laura Geller Baked Highlighter in French Vanilla. So this is actually very similar to the Essence Pure Nude Glow, whatever, Make Me Glow. Baked highlighter, very subtle, very, very subtle. This is like the no makeup, the just most ethereal, like natural, don't have to think about it. I wore this on my wedding day. I gave this to my makeup artist and she put it basically everywhere, like all over my décolletage. over most of my face. She loved it. And I was just like, this is what I want for, you know, a really long day like that, where I'm naturally going to get oilier throughout the day. But this just gives you that absolute lift from within. Very subtle, looks extremely natural glow. And I absolutely love it. I do want to try, I think they have another shade. It's like Dolce de Leche, or I don't know. They have another shade in this, which or Portofino, and I think it's a bit deeper but also a bit shinier, and I would love to try that. Obviously with my very pale skin, highlighter that's meant to highlight like on my natural skin tone is a little tricky, because I am so pale that loads of highlighters are deeper. Like this one is definitely much deeper than my skin tone, as you can see, but I'm generally mostly highlighting on this proportion of my cheeks above my blush, so like on top of my blush. So that means so long as it's lighter than my blush, it generally works. So now I can't go too crazy with that, but that generally works for me. So yeah, really enjoy all three of those, and would that I could force the makeup industry to make a wider selection of baked highlighters, baked subtle highlighters, I absolutely would, because they're the best. I love them so much. So, having just spoken about blush, let's talk about blush next. So, this is very much a top 3 of today, this day right now. In 2 days, I will have a different opinion, because 2 of these are very new to me. So they have not stood the test of time or anything like it, but right now they're my tops. They're the ones I want to use right now. So first off, we've got this Kosas blush. Blush is Life in the shade Euphoria, and this is what I have on today. It is so little and cute. It is very comparable to the Laura Geller minis, if you've got any of those. This is the old Laura Geller mini packaging, but still, if you've got any of those, it's very comparable. Actually, this has a bit more. It looks slightly smaller, but it has for flip's sake 2 grams, whereas the Laura Geller has 1.8. So very comparable size wise, and just with baked products they last so long. So Kosas did a Christmas set of 3 minis, and Euphoria, Butterflies and Blissed I think are the 3 shades, and Euphoria has been my favorite so far. Really like the formula, and I love a baked product. The actual packaging is just a little bit bigger than the Laura Geller, but it's not too big. I wish it was a bit less bulky, less tall, just to make it easier to store. But I'll take what I can get, and yeah, I really like that. I would be interested in trying more shades in that formula. It's a beautiful formula, but I'm not going to rush out and buy some of the full sizes. I'm going to wait and see, because maybe next year they'll do a holiday set with 3 different shades in it, and then I can get 3 more minis, because I have too much blush. So if I am buying new blushes, buying minis makes a lot more sense. A lot more sense. So another new blush that has become a top favorite. This is the NYX Butter Melt Blush in BMBL02 Butter Together. They spell together properly, but they don't spell butter properly, they spell butter. So this is this light pink shade. It is gorgeous, really nice. Yeah, a strong enough sweet smell. It'd depend on the person if it's a problem, but there is no mirror. I find scented products are more of a problem when there is a mirror, because I have them right up in my face as I'm applying, and then I'm like, oh, this is a bit much, whereas this has no mirror, so I'm not holding it right up to my face, and I don't really smell it like on my cheeks as I'm applying it. But yeah, this is beautiful. This is a long lasting formula. This is very pigmented. So I was thinking about some of the other shades, but I'm not sure if they would work for me, because I'm so pale, and this is the lightest, like the least pigmented shade, I think, and it's very pigmented. So I would swatch in store before buying if you are pale. And I think they should expand this shade range, because I think it's a lovely formula, and the long lasting impact is very, like, it's a great shade range as is. And obviously with lighter skin you can just be more careful about how much blush you're applying, whereas you can't just, keep layering on a color that's too light for deeper skin. So it's great that they've got some of these gorgeous colors and they look really fun and really great. But yeah, I'd love a few more like this kind of paler version. Like they've got like 3 kind of intense pinks in this line, which I think is excellent, and this is the lightest of those. It'd be lovely if they had a light version of the purple, a light version of the orange. That'd be great to see. That would be something that would strike my interest. I am interested to see, however, how long this lasts, because it only is due to last 6 months. So if we compare that to the Kosas, is 12 months. If we compare that to Laura Geller, 18 months, Essence, 12 months. So, you know, 6 months is really, even a makeup artist using this on a few clients a day, I just can't see how you could complete this blush in 12 months. Like, how much product do we have here? Peak, I need my glasses energy going on here now. So we've got 5 grams of product. The idea of using 5 grams of blush in 6 months seems completely undoable to me. So I'm curious to see, you know, is it that the scent will fade in 6 months? That's fine by me. Or is it that this will stop being so long lasting? And if it is that, then I definitely wouldn't want to buy any more. So be interesting to see how, if this can stand the test of time as a top favorite blush. But today this is a top favorite. I'm absolutely loving it, and I have been kind of crying out for more cool tone blushes, and you'll notice with the Euphoria as well, we've got some lovely cool tones in there. It's not necessarily the perfect blush for this look. It's a bit, I could have gone with brown blush as opposed to a pinker blush, but I still think it works and I've been loving it. So then my top favorite of all time, this is the Kiko Milano Lost in Amalfi Baked Blush in O2 Silky Sand. This is a rosy brown. It is a satin finish, gives you a bit of sheen, lovely rosy brown color, such a perfect blush on a minimal makeup day. This as my blush, bronzer and highlighter all in one, because it has a bit of a sheen, works as a blush, works as a bronzer, is just so helpful. So like most of the time when I travel, I make sure to bring this, because I'll have days when I'm traveling where I'm just too busy to sit and do my makeup for ages. So having a one step add some color to my cheeks and forehead and everywhere product is so helpful. Absolutely love this. Smells amazing. Yeah. Oh, lovely makeup-y, perfumey smell. This says 18 months. I've definitely had it longer than that and it's still going strong. So hopefully the NYX will do the same. We shall see. Kiko, bring these back. They're so good. They are so good. Anywho, next up we've got bronzer, and then we do have one more category after that. So continuing the I Love Baked Products line. So we've got the Flower Heatwave Luminous Bronzer in Sunrise L1. This is fabulous. Actually, Mandy Leah had this in her top 3 and hers had more white in it. And I was like, I did buy this in person in store. I should have looked through to see if there was one with a bit more white in it, because even though it looks so cool tone, it pulls a little warmer on me than it looks in the pan. If it pulled this cool tone on me, then I'd be like, this is perfect. So I kind of wish I had a little more white to just pull it back a slight bit, but it is so beautiful. I love the tone of it, and I love the baked, as you can see from like the little holes in it. I have used this a lot. Absolute top favorite of all time and of right now. Next up we've got the Gucci Eclat Soleil in 01. So this is the lightest shade. This is very much a treat myself item. It is a beautiful tone. Personally, I prefer baked products, so this doesn't beat my other two, but it is gorgeous, and obviously the packaging is gorgeous, and it is a special treat yourself item. The brush, like, what? For bronzer? What's the point of this? Other than that, love it. Wouldn't necessarily spend the money again, but I do absolutely love it. And then finally, the Nabla Skin Bronzing in Ambra. So, you know, if you're paley pale, this is the way to go. This is a bit more yellow than the Flower Beauty. So it's not necessarily perfect for me every single day. Like with a cooler tone look, I would go for this. With a warmer tone look, I would go for this. But it is very flattering and is so smooth and blends really, really easily. I don't get patchy. I don't get, you know, stark streaks of bronzer. So absolutely love this. If you have, obviously they have deeper shades, so for any skin tone, but if you have pale skin, that's like a top pale skin bronzer, I would say, available on the market, the Naples Skin Bronzing in Ambra. So I will not be limited to 3 blushes, 3 bronzers and 3 highlighters. I've also picked 3 face palettes. I'm a face palette girl. I absolutely love them. So as our final category in my top 3, let's talk about these. This I've been filming for over an hour, so we'll see in the edit how that goes. So we've got the Catrice Caviar Gauche face palette C01 Love Letters. I want Catrice to do this format in more shades. We've got a bronzer that works really well for me, but it's a little bit too yellow. We've got a highlighter that works really well. It's like champagne highlighter. It's gorgeous. And then we've got 2 blushes. This is the format that face palettes should be in. We've got a more warm tone blush, a more cool tone blush. We've got a matte blush and a shimmery blush. Yes, that is what I want. I don't want freaking a bunch of very similar products. I want a little bit of variety so I can travel with this, you know? This is a lovely format. You've got the mirror, you've got lovely packaging. It's compact, lightweight, looks sleek and nice. It doesn't feel like high-end, but it's kind of trying to look more high-end with the oyster, whatever mother of pearl effect. But yeah, really, really nice. Absolutely love this. I would love for Catrice to do this format again. Next up, another old favorite. This is the Zoeva Together We Shine face palette. Today, on top of the cream bronzer, I have this powder bronzer. If this powder bronzer was a single, it would be Dead the Gucci. It would be in my top 3 bronzers. It is amazing. It is rosy, just gorgeous. Then we've got 2 blushes. We've got a shimmery and a matte. I wish they weren't basically the same color. I feel like a little more variety would be better. And then we've got a lovely highlighter. This is actually like a pink highlighter, which I kind of think the peachy blushes are slightly, you know, these are quite pinky rosy, and then these are peachy, and that, you know, maybe a pinky blush, you know, replace maybe the matte peach with a matte pink and then have the shimmery peach, and that would make this perfect. But it is an amazing face palette. I wish they hadn't discontinued it. But yeah, absolutely love this one, and I've traveled with it several times. And then a new favorite, this is the BAM Will Powder Matte, Will Powder Blush Quad. And this is with their new packaging. So you've got the little thing that you pull out, and then we've got 4, so we've got 3 blushes and then this highlighter, which is kind of like a bit too deep for me, but it works. Oh no, it's, yeah, no, when you see there, it has like a cast that's deeper than my skin, but it works over blush. And then I'm particularly loving this pink blush, and before I got the NYX, this was like my pink blush that I was reaching for when I was doing a fully cool tone look, and I really wanted a cool pink cheek. So yeah, absolutely loving this. Love that compact, love the variety. This would be a top contender, you know, if I was going on a long trip and I wanted to have a few options with me, but I didn't want to waste a bunch of space. This would be absolute contender for such an occasion. And I might not keep it together and make it even more compact by breaking the packaging and pulling the pans out, because they are all magnetic. To recycle the packaging, you pop them out and then you can recycle the cardboard. And you can probably recycle the pans separately as well, but an added benefit of that is that you can pull out the pans, clean the bottom, clean the glue off, and then put them in a magnetic palette. So I might do that at some stage, but at the moment having it as a complete palette is working really well for me. So yeah, whew, this has been a long video. We talked about a lot of favorites. So yeah, that's my current top 3 in every makeup category. I know I'm late to the game, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for my next video. Bye!